Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are going to be doing a breakdown of day number 4 of NFL free agency. We are going to be talking about some of these signings based on the perspective of real NFL-wise, right? How these teams should feel about this signing, how you should feel if you're a fan of this team based upon the signing. And then there's also the other narrative, which is how you should feel as a player of fantasy football. Should you like this signing? Should you dislike this signing? And what should you think about it from a fantasy football perspective? So if you guys do end up enjoying this video at any point, I would really enjoy if you could hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, I put out content every single day to help you guys win your 2021 fantasy football championship. I also talk about the NFL as a whole like this in these free agency videos. I do breaking news videos every single day. If a guy gets signed of relevance, bam, there's a video on my channel a couple minutes later discussing it and giving you guys my quick opinion on it. I also talk about the NFL draft, which is coming up very fast. And if you guys need help on your March Madness bracket or just want to watch my video, I would really enjoy that. Check it out from a couple of days ago. It's almost at 40,000 views, and that was my goal for the video, was to hit 40,000. I'd really appreciate if you guys could just click on it just to help your boy out. So let's get into it. Now, some of this news is going to be completely irrelevant in reality. I mean, sure, I might read it, but I'm probably not going to go super in-depth with it. The first piece of news that honestly did not get enough coverage was Patriots safety Patrick Chung announcing that he wants to retire. He is now 33 years old. He decided to hang up the cleats after opting out in 2020. Which I found to be extremely interesting, considering the Patriots were trying to put all these pieces together, and now he's leaving. Now, obviously, I understand you can retire whenever you want. Patrick Chung is a very good NFL player, someone who I will always remember at the safety position, just because of how good he was for the Patriots. At the end of the day, this is sad news, obviously, if you're a Patriots fan, and maybe now they have to bring in a new safety. Next up was Broncos running back Phillip Lindsay hitting free agency. Now, this may not be huge news for the Broncos because they already have Melvin Gordon, you know? This is actually good for Melvin Gordon because Melvin Gordon was getting screwed by Phillip Lindsay, and it's not because Phillip Lindsay was taking his touches and doing nothing. It's because Phillip Lindsay's taking his touches and doing things with it, and then Melvin Gordon stuck sitting on the bench jerking off watching Phillip Lindsay do what he should be doing. So in reality, now this opens the door wide open for Mr. Melvin Gordon. They ended up bringing in Mike Boone, running back of the their name escaped me for 1 second. It was the Minnesota Vikings who had Mike Boone, who's like an all-right running back. So now the door is wide open for Melvin Gordon to have a really good 2021 fantasy football season. And Phillip Lindsay is going to wreak havoc on wherever he ends up signing. If they value him as that third down guy, that kind of tandem 1-2 running back, the running back by committee on that team, Lindsay is going to hit you with an uppercut. If you really like the guy on a team, and then Lindsay shows up to town. Mike Glennon signs with the Giants. Mr. Giraffe Neck, nothing too special there, obviously, just as a backup. Chris Godwin ends up signing his franchise tag yesterday, worth $15.9 million to me. This isn't too much of news, but there's obviously the perspective that, hey, maybe they could have structured him a deal where he can get a couple of years, but instead he just ends up signing his franchise tag, and maybe in 2021 he's looking for those big racks in free agency. The next thing was the Jets are interested in Juju Smith-Schuster. To be completely honest with you guys, I genuinely have no idea at this point where Juju is going to end up playing in 2021. I think it's entirely possible that he's a Las Vegas Raider. It's also possible he goes to the Jets. Those were the two teams he was linked to early. So let me know down below where you guys think Mr. Juju, Mr. Corvette is going to end up playing in 2021. The Dallas Cowboys signed a deal with defensive lineman Carlos Watkins. Nothing super special there. The Falcons bring in Eric Harris. Eagles sign Hassan Ridgeway. Chiefs brought back their backup tight end in Blake Bell. The Rams signed Johnny Munt. Again, nothing super special. This is big news, at least as a Dolphins fan. My Miami Dolphins signed former Raven center Matt Sakura to a 1-year deal. We now have a new starting center. The Dolphins want to build that offensive line to protect quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, and we do have a very, very young offensive line, and we have the potential to still draft Penei Sewell at the 3rd overall pick. I really like this signing for the Miami Dolphins to protect young man Tua Tagovailoa. Next up here, Rashaan Melvin signs to the Carolina Panthers on a 1-year deal. This is now his 10th team. You know, he's getting up there like Ryan fucking Fitzpatrick. He has been on as many teams as I'm pretty sure Phillip Rivers has kids, so congratulations to Rashaan Melvin. Next up here, we got Darius Clark signing with the Panthers. Nothing super special there either. This one was big news. I didn't even make a video on this because I was hitting the Z's. I was sleeping when this happened, even though it was at like, I think this might have been at like 12 o'clock. And I make these videos super late, so I sleep in. You know, it is what it is. Jared Cook lands with the Chargers on a 1-year deal. They lose Hunter Henry to the New England Deflatriots, so they bring in Jared Cook. Now, it's not necessarily a linear move because obviously Hunter Henry is younger and technically more talented, but Jared Cook has shown throughout his career from Las Vegas to New Orleans that he is still a very competent player in the NFL, and I personally believe that Jared Cook should be able to play pretty decent in Las Vegas and be a worthy fantasy option on their team. And by Las Vegas, I mean the Chargers. I really do like this move, and I think Justin Herbert will be quite happy with Mr. Jared Cook. Patriots agree to trade tight end Ryan Izzo to the Texans. This makes a lot of sense. The Texans, I should say, kind of have a crowded tight end room. So did the Patriots, though, because they had 7,000. They drafted Ryan Izzo in last year's draft. They drafted other guys. None of it ended up working out, so fuck it. They ship him off to the Texans to hang out with Deshaun Watson. Next up, we got Kenyon Drake signing with the Raiders. Are you fucking kidding me? When I saw this move, my brain literally ran straight up circles. It was like, if you've ever seen that SpongeBob episode where he's trying to get rid of everything so he just remembers fine dining, my brain had nothing in it because I was trying to think about what John Gruden was thinking about this moment. He drafts Josh Jacobs in the first round. Then he says, you know what? We need another Alabama running back. We brought in Josh Jacobs from Alabama. We drafted Henry Ruggs from Alabama. We got the Drake and Josh backfield now like it's Nick Tunes. All right, this makes absolutely no fucking sense. Kenyon Drake's fantasy value is down the river. You want to know what else is down the river? Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has been thrown into the river. It's like the Salem fucking witch trials getting just thrown down there. This is terrible. Josh Jacobs wasn't amazing in the NFL. He was no schlub, though. He's still going to be like a second, third round pick in fantasy football. Now, there is no way I am touching Josh Jacobs in my draft. I'm not drafting Kenyon Drake. He's like a high-end handcuff because he's really good. Or pretty good. He's better than any other running back that's a backup. But what the fuck? I mean, they paid him $11 million for 2 years to be the backup? What does John Gruden think about Josh Jacobs? Does he genuinely hate this guy? Like, I have no idea. This was just one of the dumbest signings I have ever fucking seen. Next up, we got Kyle Rudolph joining the New York Football Giants. Kyle Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Now, they're bringing in Rudolph with Evan Ingram, so this means the Giants assume Kyle Pitts will not be available at their selection inside of the first round. They gave Kyle Rudolph a decent amount of money, but hey, if you want to see what you have in Daniel Jones, you bring in a guy who's a red zone hawk like Kyle Rudolph. You build around the offense, around Daniel Jones, and hope that Daniel Jones figures it out before it's a little too late on the man's career. The Bills sign washed up kissing titties Mitchell Trubisky to back up Josh Allen, and to be honest with you, this is tough. It's funny how they call it a reset for Trubisky because he's just the guy behind Josh Allen. It's a 1-year deal. Who cares? Like, this is terrible for Mitch Trubisky. Went from like the second overall pick in the draft to being a backup quarterback behind Josh Allen. This is the definition of tough for Mitchell Trubisky. I was hoping he would somewhere get a starting job, and maybe it was just the Bears that just screwed the pooch on this guy. But I guess, I don't know. I mean, we'll probably never know, because unless Josh Allen goes down, knock on wood, don't want that to happen, we'll never see Mr. Kissin' Titties Trubisky suit up there in Buffalo. Besides preseason, if that happens, wide receiver Kenny Golladay meets with Chicago after he met with I believe he's meeting with the Giants tomorrow. Interesting. Very interesting. Probably going to be talking about it a little bit later, but Allen Robinson signs that deal. Franchise tag. Does that mean he's going to get the good old tag and trade if they're looking to bring in Kenny Golladay? I don't know. I don't know what Chicago is doing because their starting quarterback is the Ginger Ninja, Andy Dalton. Next up, we have the elite one, Joseph Cool Flacco, visiting with the 49ers. Very interesting. Everyone loves Joe Flacco, no longer a starting quarterback. He kind of fell off a cliff towards the end of his career, but hey, Super Bowl winner. I believe he's the Super Bowl MVP. He was super good in that game. Shout out to Joe Flacco. Probably signing with the 49ers. The Patriots bring in another defender. Fucking Bill Belichick is just pulling money out of his ass to sign these players. It's hilarious. Congratulations to Montavious Adams joining the Patriots. My Dolphins make the move I've been waiting for. Will Fuller joins the Miami Dolphins. For fantasy football, this is not the perfect landing spot, which should be blatant. He goes to Tua, who didn't look great. Right? Tua did not look great last year, but again, COVID offseason, coming off the hip injury, the hip surgery. He's on a team where he's getting pulled out of these games, so Fitzpatrick can try to win them. It was a weird situation, but now they bring in a deep threat. Tua was a little bit scared. He was being a pussy, frankly, when trying to throw the ball to someone who didn't have too much separation. Now, they have a guy who will be separated from the DBs on a game-in, game-out basis. Will Fuller is a game breaker at the wide receiver position. We got him for $11 million. Now, he is suspended the first game of the season because he did those PEDs last season, and that's why he ended up staying healthy. He's known as an injury-prone kind of wide receiver, but I like Will Fuller, and hopefully the PEDs he was taking, he finds some new ones that will go under the NFL's, set of rules, so that he's good to go, and he stays healthy in 2021. I love this move for the Dolphins. Now, people are going to be talking about, does this mean Deshaun Watson's coming back? Now, coming to Miami, I brought that up in my video, more of as a joke. I don't think so at this point, but you never know. Will Fuller signing to the Dolphins. This is a very good move, as he is instantly the best guy on the team, but we kind of got screwed a little bit here because he only signed a one-year deal, and if he balls out like I believe he will, we are going to have to pay some big bucks for Will Fuller next year. D-end Charles Harris joins the Detroit Lions. Former first-round pick Charles Harris, defensive end, had 3 sacks for the Falcons last year. Nothing special, but the Lions are looking to try to build a team around Jared Goff that will probably win 6 games. The Patriots re-signed their kicker in Nick Folk. I mean, he was just, like Field Yates said in the tweet, he was just solid for them last year. Nothing super special. I mean, $1 million, it is what it is. The Lions ended up cutting Chase Daniels. The Raiders said, you know what? We got Kenyon Drake. We got Josh Jacobs. Now we're bringing in a pass-catching running back that they already had on their team. He didn't do anything in 2021, but man, or in 2020, I should say, but, just bringing some guys back. I don't know why you need Theo Riddick. You might as well just sign another scrub. But hey, it was a cheaper deal. The Browns signed cornerback Troy Hill. The Browns need more defense. They need to keep their defense healthy, so they're bringing in more corners. Because when their guys went down last year, that defense turned into a dumpster fire, and they don't want to see that happening again. Wide receiver Keelan Cole is headed to the New York Football Jets. Just an all-right wide receiver. 1-year prove-it deal for $5.5 million for Sam Darnold, or maybe Justin Fields. Texans announced that they release tight end Darren Fells. Obviously, they ended up trading for Izzo earlier. Panthers add probably... All right, this guy actually, David Moore, is so underrated for fantasy football. Irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. But for real life, David Moore always made those catches, like the toe taps in the side of the end zone for Russell Wilson. So I actually really do like David Moore a lot. Now, I'm not saying this guy is going to turn into fucking Randy Moss or something, but what I'm saying is he's a pretty decent complement to that Panthers offense. The Jets end up signing Dan Feeney, center/guard, formerly of the Chargers. Good move there for the Jets to protect whoever their starting quarterback is. Washington signs Tyler Larson. Nothing super special, but hey, it is what it is. The Colts bring in Julian Davenport for a visit. Wide receiver Brashad Perriman, formerly of the Bucks, formerly of the Jets, goes to the Detroit Lions. I love this move because I love Brashad Perriman. Kenny Galladay's gone probably, right? Marvin Jones is gone. So who's the wide receiver 1? Brashad. fucking Perryman, unless they end up drafting a wide receiver, which they probably will do. Cornerback Desmond King joins the Texans on a 1-year deal. I like that a lot. I think Desmond King is kind of underrated in my opinion. For the Titans was just about all right, but hey, he seems good enough there to join the Texans. They have an absolute scrub of a defense. Kevin Johnson is heading to the Texans. The Bears release Kyle Fuller, free up $14 million. This is hilarious because Kyle Fuller and Akeem Hicks, I believe is his name, who ends up getting talked about a little bit later, they wanted to trade those two. Pretty sure to the Seahawks with all those picks for Russell Wilson. It turns out they could just cut him. I mean, I don't know what Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are doing. I really have no idea. If you are a fan of the Bears, what do you guys think about this? Because this seems bad. The 49ers signed Alex Mack center to a 3-year deal. Pro Bowl offensive lineman. Very, very nice. Just kidding. That was complete cap. I read that incorrectly. He was not a Pro Bowl offensive lineman. But hey, that's a new guy for the line when they want to run the rock. The Seattle Seahawks re-signed center Evan Pokic. I mean, he was all right last year, but that's not going to save Russell Wilson from wanting to die behind that offensive line. The Jets sign LaMarcus Joyner, and center David Andrews finalizes his deal to return to the Patriots. Congratulations to the Patriots, bringing back even more players. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed my breakdowns, you had a fun time, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I know this video was kind of all over the place because there wasn't too much news yesterday, but I did like to break it down in this video. I hope you guys had a great time. I love you guys all, and I'll see you beautiful bastards with some breaking news potentially later, or just tomorrow with another video. I love you guys all. Have a great rest of your guys' day. This is March. Good boy.